Okay, for this question on circles, there's no diagram given, and equation is quite in a very general way. So sometimes it creates some confusion. So be a bit patient to read the information. It doesn't change your concept of circle. You just have to be very patient to get through. So it won't be so difficult because the concept will still be around the same thing. Okay, so first of all, they give us the equation of a circle. Uh, so do be able to tell the center and radius if you need to. So do recall how you get your equation of circle. Okay, so generally when the format is like this, uh, the center will be A0, sorry, AB, and then the radius will be R. Okay, so a way to get the center, usually that's what I will do. I will be mentally like, okay, I will set this equal to 0. So mentally, if I set that equal to 0, I will get x equal to A. So that's how my A comes about. And then I will mentally set this one equal to 0. Okay, then I will get my y equal to B. So that's where my B comes about. And then radius will be taking the square roots, whatever that is there. So even though this question doesn't ask for the center and radius yet, okay, so you have to come with the awareness. So if you do need the center and radius, so what do? So you think about x plus 2a equal to 0, x equal to minus 2a. And then you think about y minus a equal to 0, you will get a y equal to a. So from here, you can actually tell that this will be the center. So subsequently, sometimes you might need it. Okay, and this whole thing represent r squared. So r squared is equal to ka squared. So if I do need my radius, it will be square root ka squared. So that will be the initial finding before you even proceed to the whole question. Okay, so anytime an equation of circle is given to you, whether they ask for center or radius, even if they don't ask for center radius, you need to be able to process out the center and radius. Because if you need to draw, it will facilitate the drawing from there. Okay, then subsequently, the question gave a specific value like k equal to 4. So you put the k equal to 4 back into the equation. So you can put k equal to 4 back into the equation. So your equation will become, sorry. So put in your k equal to 4. So that is your equation. Then your job is to explain why the y-axis is the tangent to the circle. So the concept behind y-axis is always x equal to 0. So you should execute the concept of y-axis and put in x equal to 0. So when you put in x equal to 0, okay, exactly what I'm doing here. What do you hope to achieve? You hope to achieve only one answer. That means there's only one y-intercept. So it turns out to be a tangent. Okay. So you just work it out. You realize that you really get one answer only. And because there's only one y-intercept, the y-axis is a tangent to the circle. Okay. So that is how we can explain this. Okay, then the second one, part B, we are interested in the coordinates of the point where the tangent is parallel to the x-axis. So as a visualization, okay, given any circle, the only way the tangent will be parallel to the x-axis, meaning horizontal, will be at the top or at the bottom. So when the tangent is at the highest point or the lowest point, then the tangent will be horizontal. So in actual fact, the coordinate that you are looking for will be the highest point and the lowest point. So that's where I will need the center to come in use. So just now we explore the center already. So we explore the center. And then we also explore the radius. In this case, the radius, because k is equal to 4. So I will have gotten a nice radius like this. So this part will be a 2a, and this part will also be a 2a. So in order to get the top point, you find that, right, because it's vertical. So right now it's vertical. So this point should have the same x coordinate. And then because it will be higher than a, so it will be a plus 2a. So that's how I got my a plus 2a. So the higher point is actually a vertical line. So it will be vertical. That's why the x coordinate will be the same. So the y coordinate is different. So the same thing happened here. So for the lowest point, it will have the same x coordinate as well, but it will be lower than this by 2a. So you will move down 2a units. So that's how we find the highest point and the lowest point. So they can also ask you for the equation. So once you get the highest point, they can also ask you for what is the equation of this tangent. So this will be y equal to 3a. That means you follow the y coordinate. So the lowest point is this point, and then the tangent will be y equal to minus a. So they could have asked you for the equation of the tangent, even though here they didn't ask. So at the same time, they could have asked for the tangent that is parallel to the x-axis. They could have asked for the tangent that is parallel to the y-axis. That means they are asking for vertical tangent. So where will vertical tangent happen? It will happen at the side, the wider side of the circle. So it will appear at the side of the circle, the right side of the center and the left side of the center with the same radius. So if let's say this question change to tangent that's parallel to the y-axis, okay, I'm going to find this point. So I'm going to find this point. So the original center was here. So apparently this point here will still use the same y coordinate. It's just that it's on the right side of the center. So if it's on the right side, you will add a 2a, and then you will still stay with the same y coordinate. So this will be 0a. Okay, and then this point here is on the left side of the circle. So it will be minus 2a minus another 2a, because you shift a unit of radius over. Okay, and the y coordinate will still be the same. So if they ask you for the vertical, the tangent that are parallel to the y-axis, you look for the widest point, the true extreme point. That means from the center, you add a radius. From the center, you add a radius on the left, right? So for this question, they're asking you for the tangent parallel to the x-axis. That means you find the highest and lowest. That means from the center, you add a radius. From the center, you move down the radius. So it's the difference between, so everything's around the center. So if radius on top, radius below, okay. And for tangent that's vertical, it will be radius on the right or the radius on the left. So these are the possible tangent that they will be asking. Okay, so actually you need some visualization. I think with numbers, it will be easier to visualize, but because this one doesn't come with numbers, so it might create some mind blocks for you to visualize it. Okay, then the next part, we are changing k equal to 5. So you got to rewrite the equation. So right now, after k is equal to 5, your job is to verify that it passes through the center, the origin. So the idea of verify means it confirm passes through the origin. You just have to double check. So I'm going to do a double check by putting in the origin into the equation. So I'm going to put in the coordinate of the origin into the left side of the equation to see that I get 5a squared. So if I try putting in a point and I don't get the 5a squared that's on the right side, that means it doesn't lie on the circle. Okay, or rather the circle doesn't pass through that point. So in this case, it's just putting x equals 0 and y equal to 0. I get the same side, or I get the same right side of the equation. So the circle passes through the origin. Now, the next one, you are given OP as a diameter. I'm supposed to find the coordinate where the tangent at P meet the x-axis. So a lot of you will get mind blocked because there's no diagram. Okay, and then you may be thinking like, where is the point P? Okay, so what you can do is you can try to draw up. You can try to draw up with whatever information you have. You have the center, remember? Okay, the center is minus 2a, comma a. So the minus 2a is the indication that the center is on the left side of the axis. So that's why I drew it on the left side of the axis. Okay, and O is here. So from here, the question says OP is the diameter. So from here, I can visualize my circle. So from here, I visualize my circle. And then, so P will be the other side of the diameter. So from here, what are you supposed to find? You're supposed to find out the tangent, and then subsequently you will cut the x-axis. So the question is asking you for that point, the point where the tangent cut the x-axis. So you continue to execute. You execute your steps of equation of tangent. So equation of tangent will come with some perpendicular, and it also comes, of course, it's a mx plus c. Okay, the more critical thing will be you do not have the coordinate of P. So you should make use of the diameter to find the coordinate of P first. But don't worry, everything is in terms of A. So don't let the A be a mind block to you. So I'm going to try to find my coordinate P, because I will need a coordinate so that I can do the mx plus c. So I'm going to find the coordinate of P by doing a midpoint. So I'm going to do a midpoint. Because OP is the diameter. That means the midpoint of OP will be the center. So I set up my P and do a midpoint, and I will be able to get the coordinate of P. So I set up my midpoint. My midpoint will be equal to the center. I compare the x coordinate. So when I compare the x coordinate, I get my x. When I compare the y coordinate, I get my y. So the x and y that I'm getting will be the coordinate of P. So I will need this coordinate so that I can perform my mx plus c later on. Okay, and then I'm going to find the gradient. So I need to find the gradient of the diameter first. So the gradient of OP, you can just use this part also can. You can find the gradient. So finding this gradient will be the same as finding this whole gradient. So I use these 2 points to find the gradient of the diameter. So that is my gradient of diameter. The gradient of tangent will be perpendicular. So the gradient of tangent will be perpendicular to the diameter. So from here, I can divide over to get the gradient of tangent. So once I get the gradient of tangent, and I also gotten my P, so I will be doing my mx plus c in terms of these two information. So my gradient is 2, I put in my x, I put in my y. So your C will also be in terms of A. It's not possible to solve for A. They already tell you, you're supposed to do everything in terms of A. So do not let the A confuse you. You execute your steps as per normal. So my step doesn't change. So you do the steps except that everything is in terms of A. So eventually you find your C, which is the 10A. Once you get the full equation, don't forget you need the x-intercept. So x-intercept means you put y go to 0 and you get the coordinate. So the whole thing just lie with finding the equation of tangent at on a circle. And this is what you are expected to, except that for this question, the equation of tangent has to be done in terms of A. So it creates another layer of mind block. Otherwise, the step doesn't change.